Hey everyone, it's Denise Brown from the Caregiving Years Training Academy. Thank you so much for your interest in our training programs. I'm going to give you an overview and then invite you to schedule time to talk with me about what will work best for you. These slides are included in the show notes. There's a link to them, because I've got a lot of these slides and I'm not going to go through everything. I wanted to just give you the highlights. Okay. Let's start with what really do our training program graduates do? Our certified caregiving consultants and comfort fit care family coaches are the equivalent to life coaches for family caregivers and former family caregivers. And I think about their work as it relates to this question: how can I be with you? Our consultants and coaches really step in to be with family caregivers and former family caregivers. Our caregiving specialists are virtual assistants to support family caregivers and former family caregivers. And I think about their work as it relates to this question: what can I do for you? A virtual assistant takes on tasks, organization skills, responsibilities to save the family caregiver time. I'm a small business owner. I benefit from having a coach and a virtual assistant. Could not live without my virtual assistant. A family caregiver is CEO of their own caregiving experience, and they can benefit from having a coach and consultant and a virtual assistant. Coach and consultant helps them with strategies, coping strategies, taking care of their stress. And then the virtual assistant is who takes on tasks, help that family caregiver stay organized, and help them manage the impact of the experience. And then our newest training program is for professional listening artists. And they create a space through listening sessions. And I think of their work as it relates to this question: what story can I receive from you today? A lot of times I get the question, why would I complete a training program? And here's why. In 2024, Medicare has created services that can be delivered by peer support specialists and community health workers, and provides reimbursement for those individuals. And those individuals are required to have completed a training. Now, this is new. I want to let you know it is still shaking out, and we know how Medicare, the traditional Medicare benefit looks. We don't know how it looks through Medicare Advantage plans, and we won't know that until summer and fall of 2024. Typically, when Medicare makes the decision to reimburse for services, in this situation, to reimburse professionals for providing services who are not traditionally covered through an insurance plan, it opens the door for commercial payers to do the same. So we believe what Medicare has decided in terms of reimbursing professionals like peer support specialists and community health workers will lead other commercial payers to do the same. And the requirement through Medicare is that the individual has completed a training program. Our training program for coaches and consultants meets the requirement for peer support specialists. And I've added in modules for our consultants so that they also are community health workers. We are calling them community caregiving professionals. That's the equivalent of community health workers. It's a lot. but just know training pays off. Training pays off. In addition, we, as trained individuals, are professionals. We also are held accountable to our training program criteria. When you complete a training program, when you invest time and money and energy into a training program, it separates you from the competition. And because I've studied caregiving for 34 years, you actually benefit from what I've learned. And you benefit from all the mistakes that I've made, so you don't have to make them yourself. Wanted to give you some ideas about how our certified caregiving consultants make money. Some of them are influencers on social media. They've been hired by corporate companies to actually talk about services and programs. I do this once in a while. I used to do it a lot more. I do it once in a while still. One of our consultants presented at one of our conferences and then was hired to actually deliver 2 programs. And she was able to bill out $4,000 for those workshops. Our consultants deliver one-on-one coaching sessions and can lead group coaching sessions. The revenue model then is diverse, which I think is really fabulous. So you can earn money as a presenter, as a coach through one-on-one workshop, one-on-one sessions, through group coaching, and if you have a following on social media, through influencer campaigns. And again, I'll make this PowerPoint available to you so you can look through all the different examples of our success. And our consultants are regularly featured in the media. I just connected one of our consultants to the Wall Street Journal again, and she'll be in an article that comes out this month, and this month is March of 2024. Regularly connect to reporters. I just did an interview this morning with a reporter who's working on how can employers better support their working family caregivers. And every once in a while, I also get requests for guests on podcasts, and I share that request with our consultants, our coaches, and others who have gone through the training programs. Okay. Here's my bottom line. I want to be a part of a group of individuals committed to improving the personal caregiving experience. That is what I want. I want to be a part of that energy. I want to be a part of making a difference. It is, I think, possible to only go so far in my business, which is why I want to connect and collaborate with others. And that's what I offer through the training programs as well. I also know, as someone who has cared for her parents and has launched a small business, that they both can be challenging and difficult. It is important to me to offer a community of support for family caregivers, as well as those who serve them, because it's helpful to connect to others who are doing something similar, so you stay inspired and motivated while receiving support. Ultimately, in our work, we are sitting with individuals who are going through something really painful in their life. And I teach how to do that. And I figured out how to do that by listening to family caregivers and really understanding what eases their pain. And that's what I deliver through the training programs, a way for you to be with someone who is going through something very painful, and you provide the support and services that eases their pain. The CDC released research around what it's like to be a family caregiver right now. And we know that stress, worry, anxiety are increasing. The experience of caregiving has gotten more complicated and more complex over the past 4 years, I would say. I almost think 5 years, but I'm going to say 4 years. What caregiving was like 20 years ago is not what caregiving is like now. We don't have enough resources. We don't have enough help. We don't have enough time. And because of that, we're stretched very thin while also taking on really complex, complicated caregiving responsibilities. That's why we need help and support. That's why we need help and support from others who have studied the challenges, who have really devoted time to understanding what is it like right now to be a family caregiver? What are the current challenges? And then how can I offer a service, a solution, a support that makes a difference? When we share a story about a painful situation, others in our life might want to jump in and fix us. And in truth, it's not because we're wrong that we're experiencing this painful situation. It's because this painful situation is that hard and complicated and complex. It's not about fixing us. We're not wrong. It's about understanding us. And that's what the training programs provide, this ability to understand the family caregiver's experience and each individual family caregiver experience. There are universal themes, but there are differences. And it's important that we show up to support a family caregiver curious with an open mind to understand what's their experience like. And the training program helps you step back from your experience so you can step into supporting another. That's really important too. Your experience inspires your work. The training inspires you to serve someone else in a meaningful, impactful way. Because we know family caregivers need us. Really committed to ensuring that what's offered right now is what's helpful right now. So for instance, I developed a concept in 1997, which stages the caregiving experience. But what that concept looks like today isn't what it looked like in 1997, because I've really committed to understanding what helps right now, each family caregiver within that 6 stages of caregiving. Okay, and I want individuals to feel successful during their caregiving experience and through the training programs. One of the things that we do on a regular basis is offer workshops for family caregivers. It's a way for me to actually test out the work, test out the strategies, test out the ideas. And we ask for evaluations after every program. And we are meeting the needs of family caregivers, which I'm so happy to be able to share with you. It's important that you know that I test out what I train. I'm not just coming up with an idea and thinking, okay, I'll train this. I am coming up with an idea. I am testing it out to make sure it works. I'm tweaking it based on my test, and then I'm integrating it into our training programs. And I believe that healing comes through opportunities. When we see an opportunity that makes sense of something that's been difficult and trying, we can start healing. Okay, so just a little bit about me. I started working with family caregivers in 1990. I launched one of the very first online caregiving communities in 1996, which I managed for 24 years and sold to Ohio's Hospice to really focus on our training programs. And I launched the very first training program in 2016, and that was our Certified Caregiving Consultant Training, the CCC program. And that's really coaching and consulting with family caregivers. And then personally, I helped my dad until his death in July of 2023, and I helped my mom until her death in August of 2022. So I was a working family caregiver. Always like to just explain that our programs are not about hands-on care. It's not about becoming a certified nursing assistant. It's not about a disease process. It's not about the carry. It's about us as family caregivers and what we experience. And the training programs, I hope, can provide an answer for you based on where you want to go. If you want to become a volunteer, we have training programs that can help you. If you want to add services to a business you've already started and launched, we can help you. If you want to start a small business, we can help you. And I get asked all the time, if I start a small business, do family caregivers want to pay for the services? And yes, they do. This research from Age of Majority came out in the fall of 2022. And what they learned in their research is 80% of family caregivers are interested for paying for products or services that help them, but they don't know about a company that offers these products or services. Family caregivers need a local resource or a resource they've connected with online that can guide, support, and encourage them. We are specialists in the practice of family caregiving. I'm going to go a little bit into the weeds about the training programs. I want to give you a high-level overview, and I'm also going to invite you to schedule time with me to figure out what's right for you. In essence, we can help you lead support groups, bring a message out into the world of what you want to change about the caregiving experience, add services to an existing business or to a business that you start. We also have master classes that help you deepen your knowledge about a caregiving experience. If you are thinking about launching a business to support family caregivers, but you're just not sure what you'd want to do, you could start with our master classes because those give you a deep dive into the challenges of family caregiving, which can help you think through how can you help. Our advocate training is a 1-hour inexpensive training program that helps you think through what do you want to change about the caregiving experience? What's the message that represents that change? And where can you take that message online in your community to spearhead change? Then we have support groups. We have training for support group facilitators, and then a whole list of others. So I know that it kind of sometimes can feel overwhelming to have all these choices, which is why I encourage you to have a conversation with me to figure out what's the right choice for you. But I really wanted to be able to offer everyone who wants to serve family caregivers an opportunity to take training that improves how they show up to support family caregivers. For instance, I added our conflict resolution strategist in 2023 after I delivered a workshop to about 120 financial planners. The workshop gave them insights about how they can help family caregivers with budgeting for care. And I was really specific about 3 different budgets that can help family caregivers create. At the end of the workshop during the Q&A period, someone said, okay, this is all well and good, but what happens when there's a family conflict? And let's face it, we know a family conflict is going to happen, and money is going to create a family conflict. And I thought, oh my gosh, what a great question. And then I thought about how contracts are structured to include a clause about how we mediate a dispute. Anytime you are in business and you create a contract with another business, for instance, you have a clause about mediation. Within a corporate structure, there's always a clause whenever there's a contract for disputes. And I thought, what if we decided early on in our caregiving experience how we're going to manage dispute and conflict? And what if there was a specialist who helped us figure that out and then supported us when a conflict happens, and that's the conflict resolution strategist. Now that's included in the consultant training. However, for instance, if you're a financial planner, you might want to take the conflict resolution strategist to help a client who's creating a financial plan for caregiving also create a plan for conflict resolution. And then the Comfort Care Family Coach program is when you want to specifically help a family caregiver after their caree starts palliative care. There are supports that happen when a caree starts hospice. In my mind, that's too late. We want to start supporting a family caregiver when palliative care starts. Now, the difference between the consultant and the Comfort Care Family Coach programs are just when you step in to help. A consultant could step in to help at any moment. The Comfort Care Family Coach really starts with palliative care, supporting that family caregiver through the last years, weeks, months of a caree's life. And I just want to let you know that I've improved the programs over the years. So we added what we call wheels, and they become conversation starters our facilitators and our coaches use. I'm going to quickly go through this because it's in the PowerPoint, just to let you know we have improved, added to, tweaked, adjusted the programs over the years so that, for instance, when you leave the consultant program, you have plans you can sell that are specific to situations. You have an assessment you can use, which is our 8-question assessment. And we are approved to offer CEUs for the 3 levels of our consultant training, for our Comfort Care Family Coach training, for our facilitator training. Actually, for every training except our advocate. Okay. Okay. And then as a guide, you can deliver the 6 stages as a workshop online or in your community. We started a listener project in 2023 because I could see what listening did. It made such a difference. And then through this listener project, we matched volunteer listeners with storytellers, and the storytellers met in a private Zoom room to share something that weighed heavy on their heart. And it was to help them release the stress of the story. And what I saw is that we really have to look at listening as more of a service than just a skill. And the professional listening artist training helps you offer clients listening sessions. You become a professional listener. And the more I think about this, the more excited I am about the potentials. And I've done some videos around this, so I'll just encourage you to look at our YouTube channel around how I'm talking about this program. Because, wow. And then just to reiterate that Medicare allows peer specialists and community health workers to deliver certain services and be reimbursed for them. The community health worker and peer support specialist must work for a Medicare Part B provider. We are working on making that happen, but I added in community health worker training to the consultant training program, which meets the national criteria for community health worker training. And again, I am sharing regularly information about these updates. So if you just subscribe to our YouTube channel or join us on caringourway.com, I'll keep you posted about these really exciting changes that are, I still can't believe them in some regard. And then I just did an interview this morning that made me think, oh my gosh, we need mentors in the workplace who support other working family caregivers. We know there's a huge pool of caregiving talent within our organizations. And what I mean by that are former family caregivers who have figured out how to stay employed, who could support new family caregivers within their organization. It's a caregiving mentor program within organizations. They support fellow family caregivers. I think about it in the workplace, but it also could be specific within a community. And that'll be available in May 2024. And it's going to probably be a 3-hour on-demand program. We have a nonprofit that is focused on accreditation, advocacy, and advisory. We are going to set the standard for training programs that are out there, not only for family caregivers, but individuals who serve family caregivers. So at some point when you take a training program, you'll complete the training through my academy. You'll be credentialed through the Caring Board, which is my nonprofit. Okay, and it's hard work. It's hard work to do this. It is hard work to start a small business. I always like to let people know that because it sounds simple when you hear how others are doing their small business, you think, oh my gosh, it's exciting, it's fun, and it's hard work. It's stressful. It's up and down sometimes. And it's important because it's hard work to be a part of a community. And that's the other piece that our training programs offer, an opportunity to connect to others. And then we do regular events that we're always looking for presenters. And it's really nice to be able to present at one of our events. Okay, and again, I'm going quickly just to let you know that we do initiatives. And I wanted to break it out to give you some ideas of which programs would be appropriate based on where you want to go. So for instance, if you feel like I just want to volunteer to help family caregivers, the advocate program is great to get you started. And then you could think about facilitating a support group. That's our facilitator training. And then if you want to make a difference as a mentor, the Caregiving Mentor Program could be right. Okay, and then if you wanted to volunteer to educate family caregivers in the community, you could take our guide training to learn how to deliver the 6 caregiving stages as a presentation. It's one concept that you learn how to deliver in a variety of ways. You could deliver it as a 1-hour overview, as a 3-part series. You could make it specific to an audience, specific to persons caring for persons with dementia, specific for working family caregivers, spousal caregivers. You get the idea. So it's one workshop, but you have unlimited varieties about what you can do with that workshop. And then if you have an existing business, let's say you're a life coach and you think, I just want to pivot a little bit to support family caregivers, then we have programs that you could think about adding in. And then if you want to start a small business, the professional listening artist, the specialist, the comfort care family coach, the consultant, and the educator programs would be appropriate. Okay, those of you who are joining me live will receive our advocate training for free, and I'll put that in the chat room before we leave. And I just want to let you know that if you're interested in the professional listening artist training, it's $350 through March 20th. It's a 24-hour program. The majority of the program is self-study. You join me for 2 hours of live training where you practice your skills and you practice actually creating listening sessions. Okay, I'm going to stop there. And I'm actually going to, you know what I'm going to do now that I think about this is I'm going to include a link to my calendar in the show notes. Please feel free to reach out to schedule one-on-one with me to talk out what are your goals, what's your vision, and which programs could help make that a reality for you. I'm always happy to connect. It's always helpful for me to hear what you want to do. and then to offer suggestions of how our training programs can help. Okay, and I'm going to stop the recording with, again, an invite for you to schedule time with me to talk out what could be right. And with thanks for really all the work that you have done and all the work that you will do in support of your family members and in support of family caregivers.